We're just heading towards the ferry at Dunquin and to make our way across, hopefully flat seas, to the Great Blasket Island. We'll chat later. Take care and bye-bye.
The Great Blasket Island has a long and rich history, going back many hundreds of years, and it's widely regarded as one of the best off-the-beaten paths in County Kerry. There's evidence of a Ferreter castle dating back to the 13th century, but it's likely that the Blasket Islands were inhabited much earlier than that. We're heading out to the most westerly point on the European continent.
Well, we're here on the harbour at Dunquin on an absolutely gorgeous morning, and we're heading out to the Great Blasket Islands within the next 5–10 minutes.
The Great Blasket Island is a remote island located off the Dingle Peninsula in County Kerry, with over 1,100 acres of unspoiled, largely mountainous terrain. The Great Blasket Island is approximately 4 miles long by half a mile wide. Now classified as a special area of conservation, it is home to an abundance of wildlife and fauna. The Great Blasket Island is now thriving with Irish history and life. The Great Blasket Island is one of the most remote parts of the Irish language speaking areas of Corcadwina.
Well, we're on the Great Blasket Island. Long time waiting to get up here, and we're walking up into the old village with many ruined houses scattered throughout the side of the hill.
The origin of the name of the island is a mystery, though it appears in early maps. Locally, it is called the Great Blasket or the Western Island. Most of the land of the island is covered with heather, with bog or peat underneath, and teeming with rabbits. There is evidence of human inhabitation stretching back to prehistoric times. The population reached its peak of 176 in 1916, but then declined until the island was abandoned in 1954. The island survived mainly on fishing, supplemented by farming, hunting and fowling, and shore food. All the houses were grouped together on the eastern end of the island. There was no shop, church or doctor on the Great Blasket.
Sadly, by the 1940s, extremes of weather, as well as immigration of the younger generations, had forced many to leave this island. And on the 17th of November 1953, the remaining residents were officially evacuated to the mainland. Nowadays, the Great Blasket Island is known for producing a number of fantastic writers. Three of the most notable examples are Tommaso Cremon, Peg Sayers and Mauricio Sulawan. Their works vividly tell the tale of life on this harsh island.
The Great Blasket Island has been inhabited on and off for centuries. The earliest known references to people living on this island was at the start of the 1700s. In the 1840s, the estimated population on the Great Blasket was about 150. It was the most westerly settlement in Ireland, with islanders mostly living in very primitive cottages, perched on the relatively sheltered northeast shore. They subsisted on fish, supplemented their diet with potatoes, oats, hunting rabbits, and the eggs of birds who nested on the island. Due to the lack of wood, they had to use heather, peat and turf as fuel for fires. As an Irish-speaking island, their works were originally written in Irish, each with a wonderfully poetic way with words that seems to flow through the blood of the islanders. The Great Blasket is the largest and most famous of the island group. The ruins of the old village can be seen on the hillside. Today, the descendants of many of the island people live locally and in Springfield, Massachusetts in the USA, while some former residents still live on the Dingle Peninsula. Most families survived by fishing, though sheep and cows were also reared on this island, and some islanders even grew potatoes and oats, though this island wasn't ideal for agriculture. Music and dancing played an important role in staving off boredom, while storytelling kept their culture alive through the cold winter nights.
This island, the Great Blasket Island, was inhabited until 1953 by a tough and hardy, completely Irish-speaking population of mostly fishermen and farmers. The island was abandoned in November the 17th, 1953, and today we can walk around the ghost village, stones from a distant past. No doubt the happy homes of people who once lived on this harsh island, plucking out a livelihood from rock and stone.
Island life was very tough, and the draw of immigration was very strong, ultimately becoming the death knell for the island. Although deserted since 1953, it is famous for the abundance of literature produced by the Irish-speaking inhabitants, who will live on forever through their documentation by them of the extraordinary details of their ordinary lives.
Ireland is home of many rugged and remote nooks and crannies, but few are as isolated as this one, the Great Blasket Island on the Dingle Peninsula in County Kerry.
In the 1920s and the 1930s, Blasket Island writers produced books which are deemed classics in the world of literature. They wrote of island people living on the very edge of Europe and brought to life the topography, life and times of their island. They wrote all of their stories in the Irish language, the mother tongue of all islanders. Today, the Great Blasket Island remains uninhabited, but visitors can travel by ferry to this wildly beautiful place and spend several hours or all day amongst its natural beauty.